On a Thursday morning here in Methuen. Uh, About to show you the latest edition of Ranger Nation Radio presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. But before we do that, we had some late break. So we were going to stream this last night. We were having some streaming issues across Periscope and Facebook. So we decided to stream it this morning. After we got off the air last night, a huge win reported from the volleyball team. A big win over North Andover, the top team in the MVC, to get the Rangers back to 8-8, and reported by, as you can see, by Matt Toomey, the coach. They were down 2-0, stormed back to take a 3-2 victory. 16th road match in a row, and the fifth time they've gone 5 sets this season. So a huge win for the Rangers. And so we just wanted to point that out before we started streaming the show. We talk about volleyball. We talk about the fact that the Rangers are going to be back at home next week. Their first home games, the volleyball team of the season, in Climbs Fieldhouse. So a huge event you're going to want to be there for. All right, without further ado, the latest edition of Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care. And it's the third edition of the fall. Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant, and you. Bill, how are you tonight?
Tim, I'm doing well. I'm going to be honest. It's been a long week, though.
It has. It's already feeling long.
Is it Friday yet?
Playing hurt, and just you got a lot of balls in the air.
I do. But I'm staying focused, Tim. And at the end of the day, I'm not giving up any of the balls right now. I'm not saying no more, and I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I'm keeping the plan in place, and I'm just chugging away.
There you go. Speaking of balls, you guys have worked this out. You're gonna have 18. Where are you getting all the bubbles from? First of all,
Steve Angelo is a recreation director in Stoneham, and he came to me about 7 or 8 days ago and said, "Let's do something fun. Let's take this situation going on in the city where there's all sorts of tension and drama and any other word you want to put out there, and let's have some fun." And Tim, I love having fun.
Yes.
I love sports. I love the community coming together. And I said, "All right, Steve, do your thing and get some the bubbles for the Booster Bubble Bash, and let's go have a good time, because there is no way, no matter what I get involved in, that I'm going to drop and just be, whatever. I need to continue to have fun and stay involved with the community. I mean, that's the way it's going to be." So we've got right now 19 sponsors. We have up to 24 bubbles, so I'm looking for a few more sponsors. But another person reached out to me today, Methuen Youth Baseball. They're going to be checking their board. They'd like to be part of it. So we're just going to, keep having a blast. End of the day, Tim, it's been about raising money for the boosters. I'm excited. The band has reached out. They're doing a big music bingo coming up on, I think, October 20th. Tickets for sale, So it's to the point now where it's no more about just the football team or this team. It's about the high school and the high school parents coming together and saying, "Let's work together." It's kind of a good thing.
Absolutely. So that's gonna be a lot of fun on Saturday at homecoming for sure.
Yeah. Got a short little window to pull this off, though, so I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Getting all the
short
bubbles.
window during halftime, you mean?
Yeah, we got the band finally back, which is awesome. They're going to be great. Then obviously the little homecoming ceremony, and I've got about 3 minutes to get as many bubbles in the middle and let them bash around, and then try to pick a winner. Jake Santos, you know Jake,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Talking to his mom and dad, and he's going to be one of the guest umpires. So if you get pushed out of the circle, Jake's going to run on and kick you out. Brian Firth, a local legend in Methuen, just got his company to buy a sponsor a bubble. I've asked Brian to be my muscle. So if anybody gives me a hard time, Brian will take their bubble and throw them out of the field. And we're looking for some potential other guest referees to make sure that if they get knocked out of the circle, they're moved out. But we're being real specific and careful in who we bring in. So if you know anybody or whatnot that wants to be on the field to help me out, that would be great.
Nice. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
So, speaking of fun, a fun week across Ranger Nation. I guess a couple places to start. The field hockey team just continues to crush it. Yeah, win and a tough loss to Central Catholic. Their first loss of the season, but they rebounded today. They rebounded Wednesday with a big win. I believe
8-3.
8-3. Drake?
I think it was Drake. Yes.
Yeah. So a big comeback. A big return to form for the Rangers there. They've qualified for the postseason. So I mean, it's just a lot of great things going on with field hockey. As we mentioned last week, the swim team had a huge win. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and we'll talk about that with one of the key members of the team on tonight's show. Kira Donahue is one of our interviews on the show tonight. So that's going to be awesome. Football continues to win, stand undefeated. Some tough things going on in terms of injuries, but they keep rolling.
Yeah, hey, 4-0.
Absolutely. And huge game against Andover. Andover's coming off of a tough loss against Central Catholic, kind of knocked the wind out of their sails, so they'll be looking to rebound. Where are we at in terms of football? How are you feeling going into Saturday?
I mean, obviously you got Joe Ganji stepping in for Connor. Joe's a great kid and has worked really hard. I think it's going to be a lot on his shoulders. I'm really hoping that the team does what they've been doing all year and rally to support him. And Joel's got the tools. He's worked hard. He's been focused all season. He's been doing what he needs to do. It's hard to get that call up. I mean, he came in at halftime against Haverhill and did some really good things. Now the coach is going to figure out how to game plan for his strengths and support him in the areas that anybody coming in. Same thing with Connor last year as a junior. There was some things that he struggled with, and the coaches have to be able to support him. The other thing I don't think people realize is Josiah Concepcion, number 54, was also injured and is out for the foreseeable future. And Haverhill was able to run on them a little bit. And I think now the coaches have a whole game to figure out who stepped in and who did well, because the second half, things seem to do much better for Methuen, where the first half, I think the Concepcion loss really hurt them. So they got to figure some things out, watch some film, and get some kids ready. That's, once again, like we talked about with Hector and the MVC Gridiron, it's like goes back to the Patriots. Next man up, It kills me to say that because, Kanji's going in for my kid, and there's nothing worse than getting injured in your senior year. But so is life, I guess. And we have to deal with it and rally behind him and support Joe. And this is a huge game for them. This will put them in a position. I mean, we know who comes after that at Central, and they're a tough opponent. So to pull out a win against Andover would be huge. It would put them at 5-0. And regardless of next steps, it would be one of the best starts for the Rangers in quite some time. And I think they really need to get their focus and try to get a win on Saturday.
So we will talk a little bit more in depth about the Haverhill game. We'll show you some highlights. We got an interview with Joe Ganji. We will. By the way, am I going there again? Did you hear any feedback in terms of where we went with young Joe?
What do you mean?
The separated at birth thing.
I honestly haven't heard anything.
All right, well,
which makes me a little nervous. So no complaints, but I haven't heard.
You know what? I haven't. I didn't put it out yet. I didn't like cut it up and put that out specifically on social media. So that's my bad. So
maybe we'll dabble a little bit on this show and put it there as well.
Exactly. There you go. So
our own little hometown show, you know.
There you go. So we'll talk football coming up after this first segment. Good things for golf. Good things for cross country. Another big win in terms of the girls. Like we mentioned last week's show. We've got a little bit more details on the meets from last week and who did what. So we will get to all of that. Plus, we've got an alumni interview tonight with Eric Rosario, who
Merrimack College.
There you go, 2016 MHS graduate, and
I got asked him, where'd that come from? Like, how did that come about?
Where did talking to Eric come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was all Matt Curran. That was me asking, who should we talk to, and Matt had heard some, Eric trains over there from time to time, and I think Matt talked to Coach Alliott, and Coach Alliott was like, you got to talk to this kid. You're going to be blown away by him. And played football, 2016 graduate, played football and ran track for MHS, and now doing great things at Merrimack. Started out at Plymouth State, now doing great things at Merrimack. So we will talk to him, and good things in Ranger Nation, right?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
All right. Anything else to report from your corner of the world in the opening segment here? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I did send you a picture about the cheerleading team. They were in the captain's corner, so hopefully we can get that up on the show. The three captains were highlighted, which is pretty exciting for the girls cheering team.
Absolutely.
We can cover that a little bit later with their names and giving them a shout out.
Yep.
Just excited to talk about the teams, and Tim, it just shows year in and year out, Mr. Matt Curran is doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely. Excited also to another sponsors join the show this week. Country Kitchen is part of the show now, so huge thank you to Lynn and Eric and Darby and the crew over at Country Kitchen. So we will pay some bills. We will show you some of these sponsors, and we'll come back right after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street, in North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. Back here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant. Football, my friend. A big win for the Rangers. Another comeback. I think a lot of folks were thinking it could be a trap game, and from a leaky faucet to a 10-story building, Canaan and Percone Plumbing and Heating can handle it all. From the pipes to the ducts, ensure the life of your property. AC, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, water heaters and boilers, sprinkler systems, you name it, Billy, Canaan, Tom Percone, and their crew can handle it all. Call them at 978-685-0880 or go online to CananPerconePlumbingandHeating.com. Canaan Percone, huge supporters of Ranger Nation Radio. Back here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant. Football, my friend. A big win for the Rangers. Another comeback. I think a lot of folks were thinking it could be a trap game, and it almost was.
Yeah, they definitely did not come out and play their best first half. They struggled. As I said earlier, they lost one of their defensive linemen, and they just didn't seem to have their intensity they needed. A couple of fumbles early on. It just started them off real slow, and then obviously Havel scored first, and it kind of sent the Rangers kind of reeling a little bit, which isn't a good thing when you give a team that you're supposed to beat that fighting chance. And Havel and Methuen always play each other really tough. It's a kind of a rivalry that's a little strange, and I don't want to say bad blood, but it's just intensity between the two places.
So a 19-17 win for the Rangers. Came back from a halftime deficit, and things got dicey at the end, but they pulled out the victory. Connor Bryant, as we mentioned, 10 for 12, 114 pass yards, 50 rushing yards, left the game in the first half. Joe Ganji came in, backup QB, 12-yard TD rush to give the Rangers the lead for good. Zach Bergeron with 19 carries, 102 yards, a 6-yard TD rush. Kareem Coleman, a 21-yard TD run in the third quarter. Ethan Ayala forced fumble as the Hillies were driving for a late. So,
couple of things I want to add to that, Tim, and I'm not taking anything away from Ethan because that was a huge tackle. He read that play correctly. He came down the line. Ethan made the tackle. Nick Matthew actually stripped the ball. So Ethan made the hit, and the video was really clear. Nick Matthew ripped that ball right out of Scaffus's hands and caused the fumble, and obviously Jordan Duran. So in typical team fashion, you had three Rangers around the ball. One made the hit, one made the strip, and one made the fumble recovery to seal the game.
Let's take a look at the play.
Yep. Nick is number 6.
So there you go. Nick's number 6. He
saw that, right?
He forces it. Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely. Want to give credit where credit's due, for sure. You know.
Yeah, and I don't want anything to take away from Ethan because Ayala made a great tackle. He stopped forward progress. It allowed Nick to not worry about making the tackle. It allowed Nick, because in that point they were in field goal range, and Haverhill has a very good field goal.
They were at the 13, and he was down to the 6 when Matthew hit him.
Yep. So the goal was to get that ball, strip that ball, make the tackle or stop the forward progress, and strip the ball. And it was textbook as far as teamwork. And then Jordan was there to scoop up the fumble, and he may have gotten yelled at a little bit this week for not just jumping right on the ball. For a big man to pick that up and to try to run it would have been interesting. But hey, he secured the fumble.
Thankfully, the ball went out of bounds when he got hit.
Right. Yep.
So no harm, no foul.
And the other big play was on the drive that Ganji scored. I think one of the other unsung heroes of the game, which is going to be a little strange, is Kareem Coleman. Kareem's got, plays both ways. He's on the kickoff return team, the punt return team, back there with Bergeron. Kareem had a play on the drive that Methuen scored the go-ahead touchdown. I'm not sure what happened in the play, but Ganji got a little confused. One of the defensive linemen came through the line and absolutely lit Ganji up. And just before he flipped the ball to Kareem, and Kareem did some incredible magic. He was going left to right, and he literally ran around probably 5 or 6 Haverhill kids and ended up getting, instead of a 7-yard loss, ended up getting a 3rd and 3. Ultimately, they got the first down and kept the drive alive. But just some incredible work.
Absolutely. So we've got the play. So let's let the folks see
great.
that as well. So you see it. I mean, unbelievable.
I think at one point Joe says, "What the hell am I doing back here?" It kind of flips the ball to Kareem and then gets absolutely nailed.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely took the hit for the team there, and Kareem did some magic work to get around a bunch of hilly defenders and actually made that a positive play. Just as a tease for later on, I wish I could say that was the most incredible play I've seen this week. That's not the most incredible play. We're going to show you the most incredible play a little later. And it's, we are Ranger Nation. It's not all high school, and we're going to Pop Warner for that play, but we'll show you that a little later. Back to this game, as you mentioned, a huge play by Coleman, and then that set up the Ganji touchdown run to put them ahead, which we also have.
Big moment for a kid right there, Tim.
And a cameo by Pam Bryan in the end zone.
Yes, yep. Pam actually got a really nice picture of Joe scoring, and to put it out there, Tim, let's be honest, nothing worse than sitting in the stands and seeing your son on the sideline injured, on crutches, and I just happened to be sitting with Mr. Ganji's mom, who was celebrating an undisclosed birthday. Her and Serge Bergeron, Zach's father, also had a birthday that day, and Diane Ganji was celebrating and screaming and yelling, and then every couple of seconds she'd lean over and, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and give me a hug and console me, and then go right back to what she should be doing, is cheering her son on. So just a great family, great bunch of kids, and it was as I told her, hey, we're supporting Joe, and he's got to take this team to a victory. So it was kind of interesting sitting with her and celebrating with her and feeling the sorrow of Connor's injury.
So we've got one more highlight I want to show you. One of the other the Hilly touchdown. Don't necessarily want to celebrate the Hillies, but it was a nice slant play, and it did put them ahead 17-12 before Ganji's touchdown run. So, but
and that could have easily been the nail in the coffin right there. And I think that's the thing right now that Tom Ryan coaches is keep playing the game till the very last second. And I don't think people realize what they missed in that game was there was action right up until the last second of that game.
Yes,
it's a fantastic game.
Absolutely. I mean, you had there was a moment there late in the game, as we showed, where the Hillies were driving, and that could have been the proverbial nail in the coffin right there, and instead the Rangers forced a fumble there. but the Hillies got it back and actually had a chance to win it. So
no, I will, and I will say this, some after the game, criticism. I think the wife Pam Bryant said it best. She was a little confused by some of the play calling of the Haverhill coaches, and the drive before the fumble. There was some passing going on where they were going for the end zone. I think the 30-yard line, and she may have been talking to some of the coaches and say, Haverhill lost that game. They made some plays, and to be quite honest, she was spot on. I think they were having some success running the ball. I think Methuen was back on their heels, and some scratch of the head calls, and
plus they gave Methuen more clock to work with. No,
that's what I'm saying. There's multiple reasons why that it just didn't make any sense. At one point, I think it was like 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. I turned to my sister and I said, if I'm Methuen, I'm thinking about, do I let him score?
Yep.
But then you got a young kid and a quarterback who's got 2 quarters of play. Is that something you want to put him in, or do you make the defensive stance? And here we go. The fumble happened, and my sister turned and goes, "No, that's the play you need." And obviously, it worked out well for the Rangers.
Absolutely.
4-0.
Absolutely. So we got an interview post game from Joe Ganji.
All right, Mr. Ganji, Bill Bryant, NBC Gridiron. Got a call second half to come in. Connor Bryant has to come out. Talk a little bit about how that was.
Well, coming into the second half, very nervous, very nerve-wracking. But once we started driving down the field, we ended up scoring. Felt good and felt more confident in the team, and we ended up getting it done.
All right, how was the touchdown for you when you ended up crossing the end zone yourself? How big is that?
That was amazing. It's a really good feeling. I'm glad I got to experience that, and hopefully Connor's back next week and we move on to Andover and we get it done.
All right, what did you say to the guys in the huddle for your first play?
I just called the play and I said, "We got this. We're gonna drive down the field and we're gonna do it."
All right, who made the defensive stop on the tackle? Did you see who that was?
I didn't end up seeing who that was, but it was a big play.
All right, huge win for the Rangers.
Yeah,
great job.
Definitely. Thank you.
Keep it going, kid.
Thank
All
you.
Right.
So there you go, Mr. Ganji with the post game interview. A huge game against Andover this week. What do you see there?
I think that our defensive backs, and have been battle tested all year, going against Alward, going against Brendan Ty. Lowell has multiple receivers. I think that's going to be one of the strengths. I think the concern or the potential strategy is going to be stopping Bibby.
Yes.
And in the run game, I think Central showed, by taking him out of the game, it makes things a little bit more difficult for Andover to score, which they've been putting up some serious numbers. And I think offensively, Ganji's got to protect the ball and make sure that that you get the ball to Kareem and to Bergeron and to Romano and to pick his spots and run the ball and just protect it. And limit the turnovers. And I think Methuen, all in all, is the better team. Obviously, I would love to see number 10 out there. But unfortunately, Joe didn't get his wish, and Connor's not back this week for Andover. And hopefully he'll have some game left before the season's over. But right now, Ganji's got the lead, and he's going to have to run that offense.
So a big game for the Rangers this weekend, and one more thing before we go, I want to just want to show when I saw Ganji in the post game interview, I was I don't know, something came over me. I took me back to my days of watching T.J. Hooker with William Shatner. The other show that Shatner's known for, a little less than Star Trek, but one of the stars of that show was an actor named Adrian Zemed, and Joe had on that. Joe had the locks. Joe has the headband going on, and so went to the internet, did some research, tried to back up my thought process, and here's what I came up with, Bill. Separated at birth. Joe Ganji and Adrian Zemed. Now,
the fact that you can pronounce Semed like that and you butcher the rest of the
I know, right?
Is awesome.
It is true. Thanks for that, Bill.
No problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love to
nothing but love. So,
I love to point some of those things out.
I've actually reached out to the real Adrian Zemed on Twitter, and because as you might expect, he's not getting a ton of new roles these days, and not really getting a ton of new action there on the Twitter. So I
heard Will Smith beat him up though for Men in Black.
Is that
so?
Oh, is that
yeah? He almost had the first Men in Black.
So close.
And Will Smith beat him up by a hair.
So close. All right, let's take a quick break before we get any more silly here. We'll take a quick break, come back. We will talk field hockey. We'll talk some swimming, and we will
some alumni.
Yeah, we will have an interview with one of the swim stars, Kira Donahue. Here on we'll do that right after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street, in North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now right-in-place insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and MapFreight, just to name a few. Need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home? I just asked Val and his crew to find me a better auto and home insurance deal, and he connected me with Plymouth Rock, where I'm saving more than 40% over my previous insurance. Now, your results may vary, but give Davila and DeFusco a try. They pride themselves on having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, or check them out at daviladefusco.com. Back here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant. And we wanted to, before we get into field hockey and swimming, we wanted to just show you what we were talking about earlier in terms of the MHS cheer team. So the cheer team featured in the Commonwealth Motors Captain's Corner in the Eagle Tribune. Who are we looking at here, Bill?
Yep, we got left to right. We got Angela Pyle. We have in the middle Olivia Hebert, and to the right Shannon McNally, all seniors and tri-captains of the varsity football cheering team. And a lot of people don't understand that they don't just cheer at football games; they also do an incredible competition. And so they're doing both. They're learning cheers for the football team during home games and some away games, and then they're going on their own and doing competitions. So hats off to the 3 captains, and hope they have a great season.
Absolutely. So good stuff there. In terms of field hockey, now we mentioned field hockey earlier. Field hockey with the big over Lowell today.
Drake.
Oh yeah, excuse me.
Drake.
Over Drake. Hold on one second. I screwed up the graphic on the screen, but it was actually 8-4 over Drake. Crow led him with 4 goals, 3 assists. Piper Hugas with 2 goals. Charlotte Putnam and Kaya Hollingsworth scored a goal apiece. Izzy Putnam with 14 saves, and the win secures a postseason berth for Methuen. So huge congratulations there. And then they also won 6-0 over Haverhill on October 4th. Crow again with 2 goals. Hugus, Natalie Fiato, Olivia London, and Julia Tarugnu with a goal apiece in that win. And we actually have an interview after that game with one of the goal scorers in the game, Piper Hugus.
All right, Piper, talk to us about today's 6-0 win over Haverhill.
We love playing Haverhill. They're a really, really nice team. A lot of their players play with us in the off season, so we try to be really nice, but the girls connected really well today, and it was a good win.
Nice. So that's win number 7, right? And you have 3 ties?
Yep.
So that's 17 points. 18 gets us in the tournament. So barring an unforeseen situation, what's up for the rest of the year? Talk to us what you guys have left and what the expectations are of the team.
Well, our next game is going to be against Central, which are pretty much one of our big rivals. So we're going to really, really try to beat them. So hopefully by next Sunday we're going to be in the tournament. We're going to be ready and already in states. Other than that, we're just going to try to keep going undefeated, hopefully, and just try to keep up with all these really, really high bar teams.
Nice. And so for the people that don't know field hockey, what position do you play and what's your role out here on the field?
I'm typically a midfielder, so I kind of play forward. I play offense and a lot of defense, and we're just kind of up and down, but it's kind of like in every other sport. I don't know how to explain it.
No, nice. And you scored a goal today?
Yes.
How many goals have you scored this year?
I think we're at 6.
Nice. And then Izzy, another win in net. Talk to us about Isabel Putnam, our goalie.
She's so good. She keeps up with everybody, especially with the conditioning. She trains with all of us super duper hard, and she blocks all our shots during practice. She works really hard just to keep us on our toes.
So that was obviously after the Haverhill game, before the Central Catholic game. But Hugus with 9 goals on the season after today's win over Drakeit. So nice work again from Matt Curran in terms of securing us some more interviews for the show. But just big.
What a great kid!
Yeah, absolutely, and just big things for the field hockey team. How do you manage the expectations at this point?
Well, I think it's easy. I think they lost to Central 4-1, right?
Yeah.
So I think what the coach has been able to do, Tim, is to create an environment now and get some of these kids playing field hockey at a younger age where they're now beating the teams that they were losing to by a goal or 2 goals. And now they're looking to, the tie against North Andover was a huge game for them. That's kind of a powerhouse team. And then you have Central, who has, who's getting girls from all over playing, youth field hockey. So, that's going to be the bar. So it's easy for the coach to say, hey, listen, we're having the best season we've ever had, but we just lost to Central 4-1. So
I'm in those situations. I'm a fan of getting the first win out of the way, first loss out of the way before you get to the postseason. To kind of reset the decks a little bit. No,
absolutely.
I don't think anyone on that team had a big head about them because they're in uncharted territory here in terms of the record. I mean, they've been competitive, but I mean, in terms of being undefeated at this stage of the season, it's uncharted territory, and so there's no big heads. But in that situation, it's kind of, as you mentioned, kind of nice to have a reminder there that there's still work to do.
We got a ways to go, and here's the cool part: as you were talking about the last couple of games, I don't think you said one name other than the goalie more than twice.
Yeah.
So you had Tadugno scoring, Fiato, you know what I mean? You have a bunch of kids that are contributing. So it's nice to see that there's a balance there, and maybe that's one of the reasons why they're starting to be able to compete and beat teams handedly, as you have 6, 7, 8 girls that are scoring. Kaya Hollingsworth gets a goal. So these are kids' names that we've talked about to Dugno and other sports. So I think that what's happening is the success is also getting other kids to come out for field hockey, and it's catching on.
Oops, sorry about that. Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. Oops. What's going on there? Oops, sorry about that, Bill.
It's okay.
So, on to swimming. A big week for the swim team. We mentioned it on last week's show, but a historic win over Haverhill on October 2nd. They scored their first ever win over the Hillies. The 400 freestyle relay team of Katie Lefebvre, Ava Fasella, Callie Delano, and Kyra Donahue. They pulled out a huge win in the 400 free relay to seal the win. Fasella also won the 100 backstroke. Delano won the 500 freestyle. Callie Legvold won the 200 freestyle, and Donahue won the 100 freestyle. So some big wins there for the swim team. Bill, I mean, talk a little bit in terms of what you see from Jason Smith and the fact that this sort of result's not a surprise.
No, I think one of the things that Coach Smith does is he's systematic, and he's been building up for this. He's been coaching the team and setting the bar high. Once again, just through my Ranger Nation grapevine, there's a lot of girls that are and boys that are swimming now off season. And Tim, when you talk about a winning situation, look at field hockey, look at volleyball. The coaches on their own are starting youth programs in the city. And that's something that the city needs to start to listen to a little bit and realize that for the high school teams to have success, the youth programs have to be supportive. We have a great football team, and basketball has been around for a long time, and we're starting to see softball has a winning tradition. And Coach Smith, there's Rangers softball, and you see these groups playing competitive sports, and look what happens. Now they're starting to win and create a little bit of a tradition around swimming. And I think also partnering with Tewksbury has been great. Another great school, great athletic director. And when you don't have the numbers, it's good to find a partner and build your program together. Absolutely.
In terms, how going from softball to swimming, it's for me with Coach Smith, it's just such a I don't normally pair those two together in terms of coaches.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I don't know how he does it. I think he just loves being around the kids. I think he loves coaching and the challenge, and for a high school teacher, to be able to develop, and that's the criticism of sports, Tim. It's people not understanding that it's not necessarily about the win or the loss. It's about challenging high school kids to achieve and get the best out of themselves. And I think that's something that Coach Smith does on a regular basis. I saw an article on Facebook, and I wish I could have found it, where there was a story about him, and a girl wrote in and said he was the coach a few years ago, and you know what, I'm going to find it for our next show and bring it up. But it literally gave me the chills to listen to the impact he had on this young lady at Methuen High, and now she's in college and doing really well. And she just talked about how he made her want to be the best person and be the best in anything that she does. That's exactly what you want from your coaches and your teachers.
Without a doubt. And and as you said, it goes to speak in terms of just all the things that you get other than the wins and losses from competing in sports, especially on the youth level.
Yep.
It really sets you up in terms of how to deal with a lot of the wins and losses in life, but also just the camaraderie, the teamwork, and to see it pay off in these situations. It's just, when you talk about the swim team and the field hockey team specifically, just seeing some daylight in some wins and some new milestones. it's very cool. So I've got a couple of things we want to just throw at you here. First off, the swim team, as we mentioned, a great photo capturing the win and the team celebrating right afterwards. So huge thank you to Matt Curran and I don't have credit in terms of who took the photo, but just a great photo showing the celebration. And then the second one I just wanted to show you, we were talking about field hockey, so I figured we'd show the field hockey team, a great shot taken after
that was a great picture.
Yeah, after the game today of the whole team, kind of celebrating that moment of qualifying for the tournament. So couple of nice moments there. We wanted to show you. Speaking of nice moments, we were able to catch up with one of the stars of the swim team, and just again another example of just a super talented student athlete, student and athlete. Kira Donahue, senior leader for the swim team. Let's talk to her now. And on the line with us now, one of the leaders of the Methuen-Tewksbury Red Rangers swim team, Kira Donahue. How are you, Kira?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I really appreciate you joining us. An amazing win for the program last week against Haverhill. I guess we could start there. Just take us through, because you can read the box score, but that was a back and forth meet the whole way.
Yeah. No, definitely going into it, like Jason Smith, our coach, he told us right off the bat, like, it wasn't going to be an easy win. Like, we have, since the history that he's been the coach, haven't, pulled out the win over Haverhill. So he told us, like, if we were going to walk the walk, we had to swim the swim. So, like, swimming being a very individual sport, like, if you put in the work, like, you're going to see results. So the whole week leading up to that meet, it was like grind time, in and out of the pool. We run our mile, then we do our on land workout, and then we get in 4:15 to 5:30, and we just go. That's it. Haverhill was on all of our minds, leading up to that meet. And how you said it was back and forth. Really, it came down to a few of the last races to really pull out that win.
And you were part of the relay team there that helped secure it at the end, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna meet me in Drug
So it was me.
Yeah, I'll be right now.
I believe Ava Fasella, Julia Galuska, and Katie Lefebvre. They're two of them are sophomores. Ava is actually one of my co-captains.
And yeah, you nailed it. Yep. In terms of, so it was a time of 4 minutes, 13.4 seconds. In terms of the pressure you guys were feeling in that moment, I mean, talk a little bit about that.
Smith, he just came over to us, and one of his favorite things to say is just get it done. So we knew that it was going to come down to just out touching the other person. So it was very close going into the last leg. So I knew that I had to keep the lead, if not make it a bigger lead. So I dove in and I knew what I had to do, and we just pulled out the win. But I really wouldn't have been able to do it without the lead that we got from the three people ahead of me.
Swimming can sometimes, the work that you guys put in is so individual in terms of how you push yourself. Talk a little bit in terms of those relays, and in terms of just the team meets overall. How when you're putting in so much individual effort, how do you create that team atmosphere?
Well, there's never a race where it's silent. Swim meets, I always say, are the loudest meets, games, competitions, whatever you're ever going to go to. Because to really connect with the people who are in the water, like, you really just have to go crazy. Like, you're standing behind the block, like, about to swim your event, your goggles are on, and you just hear your whole team, like, going, like, wild, like, around the deck for you, like, cheering your name and all this stuff. So, like, you know, like, you have the team, like, behind you, like, just waiting to watch you, like, go out and kill it. So that's really what pushes me through, like, knowing that they're watching me, like, trying to do my best, and they're trying to make me also do my best.
So we've got just some of your information up on the screen. You're the rare 2-year captain under Coach Jason Smith. Your 2018 first team All MVC, 32nd currently in your senior class with a 4.2 GPA. As we mentioned, part of that freestyle team that helped the swim team knock off Haverhill for the first time ever. I have you for 6 total race wins with the individual and the team relays so far. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, I've just come so close to beating. Well, not like, I don't want to say beating, but like pulling out some wins in a few other events. But again, it's just being out touched. So it's like the few seconds that make a difference.
Tell us how you got into swimming.
When I was very little, I went through about every in-town sport you can think of and just never really clicked with anything. Like, land sports weren't really my thing. But my cousin, who also went here and was also on the swim team and holds a few of the relay records, Megan Arsenault, she did synchronized swimming on the club team that I do it now. So I went to go and watch one of her competitions one time, and I just, fell in love with it, and I wanted to start with that. So from like 4th grade to my freshman year, I was like competitively doing synchronized swimming, and then like I transitioned to doing both now throughout my high school career.
Okay, thanks.
That's awesome. We're talking to Kira Donahue from the Red Rangers swim and dive team. Kira, just in terms of, tell us a little bit in terms of the synchronized swimming. Like, how did you? You mentioned your cousin, but tell us the difference just in terms of the discipline that goes into synchronized versus taking on speed swimming.
I mean, it's kind of just the same, like, get in and get it done. But obviously with synchro, like, it's a much more team-oriented thing because you swim in a team of 8 instead of, just, like, down to back by yourself. But, like, you show up every day, like, being late isn't an option. Not showing up because you don't want to isn't an option. Like, if you're there, you put in the work to get better. Because even though it's 2 very different things, like, if you don't put in the work for either one, like, you're not going to see results. So I think both my coaches, my club coach and like Smith, have held me to a very high standard, like saying, like, if I don't want it, I'm not going to get it. So me being a very go-getter person, like, I always want it, so I always go get it.
So you mentioned you went through a bunch of sports. You come from an athletic family. Your older brothers, Adam and Alex Arsenault, were 09 graduates, Methuen football team for the alumni fans that watch the show. And your younger brother Ethan is the starting goalie for MHS soccer currently. When you found swimming, was that almost a relief for you in terms of just like continuing the athletic prowess in the family?
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, because everyone in my family was just so good at one thing, and I just wanted to be good at something. And then eventually when I found swimming, like, it just clicked, and I knew that I wanted to be doing this for the next, however many years.
And we shouldn't leave out Chanel Arsenault, your sister. She was a star in her own right at MHS, so it kind of paved the way for you there as well, right?
Yes, she swam her whole high school career here too. So
with Smith.
Yeah.
All right, so now that I mentioned him, tell us. So I know him a lot more from softball. I've seen him in action in swimming, but I mean I've seen I've seen him more on the softball field. Tell us just about Coach Jason Smith and just what makes him so unique in terms of coaches and in terms of mentors.
No, he's just really he's so awesome. Swimming obviously can get very draining, mentally draining, because all you're doing is staring at a black line for an hour and a half. And he always finds a way to make us laugh or make it fun. If we have a few seconds at the wall for a break, he'll crack a joke, or he'll tell us that we only have 20 more. Only 20 more sounds ridiculous, but I don't know, just having him there and knowing that he's gonna root for us the whole time, no matter what. It just you don't really get that from a lot of coaches, knowing that you're gonna have support, if you have a good race or a bad race.
Absolutely, he's fun too, right? I mean, he's pretty serious, but he seems like a goofball as well.
Yeah, he always says there's a time for play and there's a time for business, and you need to know the difference. But his time for play is just so fun. When you get him off topic, he just goes off topic, and it ends up in so much laughs and stuff. So
in terms of just your memories from you coming down the home stretch here in terms of your high school career, what are the things that you're going to take away most in terms of your time with the swim program?
I mean, it's just the little things. Obviously there's a bunch of meets that we won that were super close, or events that I had where I did really good, but it's just the in-betweens to me that I would remember. So we have spirit days on our days of our meets, because we can't we don't have uniforms. We have swimsuits and we can't wear swimsuits to school, obviously. So we have spirit days where we dress up crazy. The swim team has the hardest spirit days you'll ever see. I wear tutus and tights, and it just it's just so much fun. Yeah.
So drawing attention to the fact you guys got a swim team, huh?
I mean, you got to get everyone to come out, so it's a good time.
In terms of what's next for you, you looking to continue swimming?
Mm-hmm.
In college?
Yeah.
So, where are you looking at in terms of colleges?
So Keene State College right now in New Hampshire is my number one, and then Roger Williams University in Rhode Island is my second. They're both D3 schools, but they both have been winning their conferences for the past however many years. So, they're pretty up there in the D3 spectrum.
Shout out to Keene State. My niece graduated from Keene State, and I won't sell. It doesn't sound like I need to sell you on it, but she had a wonderful wonderful time there for sure. So in terms of when you actually have some free time between the training, the meets, the schoolwork, you mentioned a pretty unique hobby, calligraphy. How did that start for you?
So there's a girl who's on my club team who is just amazing at calligraphy, and I always want to be I want to be able to do that. So we used to have these we would call them classes. Every Thursday night after practice, we would all go back home, whatever. But then we would all FaceTime, and she would teach us how to write wicked nice calligraphy. So I mean, this happened a year ago, so I've been practicing ever since. And I mean, I'd like to say I'm getting better, but I mean, I'm definitely not the best at it yet, but it's still fun.
That's really cool. And what's on your headphones right now?
10,000 Hours by Justin Bieber and Dan Shay. He just released that, and it's so good.
Nice. In terms of you mentioned you're a fan of the 100, the sci-fi show. What got you into that?
Oh my goodness, that was a plague on the high school swim team. Everybody was watching it, and I just felt left out, so I wanted to start watching it too.
Had to be part of the conversation, huh?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was going crazy over it, so I wanted to see what it was about.
Nice. And then you fell in love with it yourself.
Yeah.
Nice. So in terms of, and again, we're talking to Kira Donahue from the Red Rangers swim team. Before we let you go, shout outs to family, friends, teammates, teachers, anybody. Who who you want to shout out?
Shout out to my captains, Sam, Ava, and Caitlin. Shout out to Paulina because it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Paul. And obviously shout out to Smith, for getting me here.
And in terms of just your family, we didn't mention your mom, Paula, and your dad, Steve, and just the whole support system. I would imagine it's in terms of getting you to club meets and getting you to practices. It's been a long road, right?
Yeah, no, they're unreal. My mom especially, because my mom usually deals with all the swimming stuff, and my dad will deal with my brother's soccer things. So, yeah, no, my mom's been unreal with her support. Those 5 a.m. practices on Saturday aren't easy for anyone to get up and drive to. But, freshman, sophomore, and junior year, she got up, no complaints, brought me to practice, So, yeah, they've just really been a great support this whole time.
Absolutely. In terms of just you've been exemplary in terms of just modeling what a student athlete should be at Methuen. For the young ones that are just 7th, 8th, 9th graders, just trying to find their way, and what would you say has been the most important thing for you in terms of figuring out how to be a student athlete?
Well, definitely just keeping in mind my end goal. For me this season, I really want to break the school record in the 50 freestyle. So having that, in the back of my mind just helps me get through it, because obviously there's going to be days that are wicked tough, just to get through with school and training. But if you just keep your mind focused and what you want, you just can't let anything get in your way.
And just a real quick elevator pitch in terms of why if folks have never thought of swim team, why should they join the Red Rangers?
Swimming to me honestly is just I can't imagine doing any other sport. It's just so much fun. It's just so rewarding because you get to see the results that you're working towards. Once you drop a few seconds or you PR in a race that you haven't PR'd in a while, it's just the best feeling, And obviously, with football or softball or other sports like that, you can get a nice win, but it's just good to know that I did it and I did it for myself,
For sure. Anything we left out that you want to get out there before I let you go?
No, I think that's it.
Kira Donahue, phenomenal job. Really appreciate you taking the time. We'll be watching the rest of the season here, and thanks a ton for joining us here on Ranger Nation Radio.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So a huge thank you to Kira Donahue for just a wonderful interview. Again, very articulate. Went through how she got into swim, and Bill, one of the things from the interview and that really struck me, a couple of things. She started in synchronized swimming in middle school as a club sport, and then made the transition to speed swimming. And I mean, her whole family, the whole Donahue family is. I mean, Ethan's, as we said in the interview, Ethan is the goalie for the soccer team. Couple of brothers, alumni of the football team, and then her sister is the one who kind of paved the way on the swimming end for her. So quite a family and quite a student athlete there.
No, it's good. It's just a testament to Methuen. There's a ton of families like this that just have great kids, great athletes, and that's why us starting the alumni thing, and I know Eric's coming up in a few seconds. It's great to continue to track these great young kids and young adults and to see where they're going in the future, because that's how you build a strong alumni. Is you get them to remember kind of where they started, and coaches like Smith and Sims and Ryan and all that, just and Jackie Rapino. It's just such a great thing.
Absolutely. Bill mentioned it. We will take a quick break here, and then after the break, we will talk to 2016 MHS graduate and a senior now at Merrimack College, running track for Merrimack, Eric Rosario. We'll talk to him after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street, in North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. Big shout out to one of our newest sponsors, Weddings Remembered. You want that special day to be perfect, so trust the memories to only the best. I teared up watching the client video on myweddingremembered.com as it brought back memories to my special day 23 years ago to my wife Debbie. Let Daniel and the crew give you that perfect memory. They handle photo, video, and DJ services to ensure your event goes off without a hitch when you get hitched. Call Daniel at 617-651-1366 or visit myweddingremembered.com for more information. Hey, it's Tim Wood here, host of Ranger Nation Radio. Attention small business owner, Ranger Nation needs you. We have some great sponsors here on Ranger Nation Radio, but we need more sponsors to make this show possible for the citizens of Methuen, for the fans of youth sports here in our great city. Get the best marketing bargain in the Merrimack Valley and support local journalism and youth sports all at the same time. I promise you, we will promote you to the ends of the earth for a pittance of what you will pay for other marketing opportunities. Incredible return and bang for your buck. Call me, Tim Wood, at 843-290-6242 today and learn how to get involved in Ranger Nation Radio. Back here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, Tim Wood, Bill Bryant. Exciting for us to, as much as we love talking to the current athletes, it's also, there's a strong alumni connection, and especially, I think it's one of the things that Matt and the whole athletic department are working on, continually building and strengthening that bridge with the alumni. And so we're fortunate enough to have on the line with us a 2016 graduate and a star in his own right at MHS. Came to Methuen from the Dominican Republic and made a big impact and really changed his life through getting into sports here in Methuen. Let's get on the line, Eric Rosario. Thrilled to have here on Ranger Nation Radio, class of 2016 MHS alum and star now at Merrimack College in his senior year. Eric Rosario, how are you tonight, sir?
Good. Thank you for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
For being on the show. Big fan of what you guys doing over there.
Trying, we're trying to just bring as much positive attention to the student athletes as possible. So, and that includes alums. So, tell us a little bit in terms of what you've been up to since you left MHS.
So pretty much, like you said before, senior at Merrimack College, about to enter last year of track and field season, and then just getting ready for that season and also getting ready for the real world, job search and all of that. Because, like, sports can only be for so long, and then real life hits you, and then you got to get ready for that part, that situation. Then, so I got those things going, job searching, and then sports. So, pretty good balance now.
What are you majoring in at Merrimack?
So right now I'm doing business administration with a concentration in management.
Okay. Anything specific that you're looking at in terms of afterwards, or have you started to narrow in on what you're thinking career wise?
So I want to get in the operations field, like behind the business development type of thing. Because last summer I had an internship with Enterprise, the car company, and then that I just did a lot of behind the scenes with the financial team and then the operations team, and I kind of like that type of environment. So it was pretty cool.
They're a great company, huh?
Yeah, it is a great company.
Did you do
Absolutely
it here
love it.
in Methuen or somewhere else?
In the branch in Lawrence, the one
Okay.
in South. Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
In terms of what you are up to with at Merrimack in terms of sports, you're running track and field there. You're which is a continuation of what you did at MEHS. Tell us a little bit in terms of the successes you've had at Merrimack so far.
Well, at Merrimack, I had a lot of success. Thankfully, to my coaches, they took me in once I transferred from Plymouth State because I didn't spend my first year at Merrimack. I did in Plymouth State, and then I transferred over to Merrimack, and they took me in, and they showed me like really the sport track and field in a more complex type of thing. And then we went to great different meets. I ran a lot of fast times, a lot of relays, went to a lot of different places. Nationals last year, which was a plus, and then yeah, just been a lot of success in the with Merrimack.
So you said nationals on the 400. You were third in the New England Championships, second in the conference championships, and then you guys had a ton of success in the relays.
Yeah, it's just hard work. A lot of discipline put into that type of situation. Taking it one day at a time, and then because we had a common goal last year as a team to like win the conference and win the New England, and then to get that done was just a great feeling. It just constantly hard working, like no days off. Just that grind mentality every day. It's just what I do.
So you're commuting right now.
Hmm.
So which makes a lot of sense in terms of how close the college is. I
Pretty
mean, to
close.
have it's a beautiful thing to have a Division I college right in our backyard. So tell us a little bit in terms of, I mean, time management. I'm sure was a huge part of your life. And discovering that time management at Methuen High School. Tell us a little bit in terms of what your day is like now.
Like in college right now.
Yeah.
So my days are pretty long. So it's just I wake up 6 in the morning, and then I have weightlifting during that time. So we do that for an hour, and then I go to breakfast, and then I go to class from like 8 to like 3:50, different type of classes, and then I have a little break before practice, and then I have practice at 4 o'clock, and then I have that from 4 to 6, and then I have dinner after that, and then pretty much just homework the rest of the night till I go to bed, and then do it all over again the day after.
Rinse and repeat. I mean, do you ever get any downtime?
Not really. The weekend though, like Saturday, Sunday, but then Saturdays goes away because like when the full season starts, that's when we compete. So like basically Sunday's my free time. I mean, I kind of love it, so I don't mind doing all of that. So I'm kind of used to it.
In terms of tell us a little bit in terms of so you're living at home. So shout out to your family.
Yeah.
So mom Juana, dad Socrates, and then your two siblings Lala and Swari.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Eric.
It's all good.
It
Yeah,
tells
they have
us
a
in
hard
terms
game.
of in terms of how you when you're coming home from like how do you get them to understand? Listen, I'm still in college mode here. I got homework to do. I can't be watching TV with you, and I still got a lot of work to do here.
I mean, they understand it because I've been doing it for like 4 years already, and
Yeah,
then I had that same schedule in high school too. So they understand that like my type of lifestyle, and then they just let me do my thing, and then when I'm ready to talk to them, I talk to them, and then if they need anything from me, they will just talk to me. But they understand that lifestyle that I live, and they're pretty like, I don't know how should I say it. They're pretty like they understand
pretty
what I
chill.
go through. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Um,
the right word.
how old are your sisters?
So my middle sister is 20 and she goes to U Lowell, and then my younger sister is 16 and she's a junior at MHS.
Nice. So take us back to MHS in terms of just your experience, and you came to Methuen from the Dominican Republic. Tell us just a little bit in terms of what got you into sports. I mean, you also played football, and
Yeah,
and
shout out to Coach Ryan.
have you been able to
But
get to any
man,
games?
yeah, I always go back to the Thanksgiving game with my boys. We always go watch it.
Awesome. Have you played any alumni games yet? You probably can't. You're
No,
running track, right? You think you might do it next year?
probably yeah, next year once I'm done with track.
All right, all right. We'll make sure you're on the roster.
Yeah.
um, Tell us just in terms of what it was like for you to get into Methuen High School, and how sports helped you made the adjustment, coming to America from the Dominican Republic.
I mean, MHS was a great experience for me. A lot of people say like high school they don't like it's not doesn't go too well for them, but for me, I had one of the best times of my life. Made friendships that are still going on right now, and then but MHS like taught me a lot of things like discipline with the sports, like being on time, all of that good things, and boy, it was just a great experience. Me there, just being involved with like different type of people, different type of like personalities. I got to like develop like myself. I learned English while being like in the sports because like I didn't when I was a freshman I still was learning the language and I was like playing football so it was a hard time learning the plays.
Wow,
So, so imagine like learning English and learning football plays.
I
I
can't
was like
even.
I don't know what's going on, but like my friends like Kevin and Kendrick Denos, Nick Ramirez, they all helped me like learn the plays like little by little with the little English I had, and I'm still friends with them thankfully, and it was fun. It was a fun experience. MHS.
I've we do a MVC football show as well, and we just talked this past weekend to a kid from Lowell named Aaron Morris, who came from Jamaica, and his mom was a sprinter down there, and now he's playing football. It's kind of the same situation as you in terms of learning the football. I think he knew English a little more than you did coming here, but so I just can't even imagine trying to pick up English while you're trying to pick up football.
Boy, it just like at first it was a little hard, but that type of transition, that type of environment made me like learn the language even faster because like the plays it just goes in and out because we back then we used to do like no huddle, so like processing all that information made me like learn English like much faster than the usual kids that come from the DR.
That's awesome. So um, in terms of track in high school, Coach Alliette, your coach?
Yeah, Coach Elliott, Coach Fuller, Coach Colopy, Coach Shannon. Shout out to all of them.
Absolutely. What what made you get into track?
Well, track came like as a surprise because I was pretty big into the whole football thing. But then and then Coach Ryan said like, oh, if you're not doing anything on the winter or anything on the spring, you need to be doing track. So like I just joined because Coach Ryan told me to join. So I was like, I do whatever Coach Ryan
Keep
tells me.
you
So
out
I
of
just
trouble, right?
and he was like, yeah, we need you to get faster. So I just joined track and then I just like love the sport. How like everything is just you get what you put in that whole type of environment. I love Coach Fuller, love Coach Aliyah to death. They just made me feel like at home, and then I just got better every single year, and that just kept made me come back. And then I don't know, just something about it. I love it. It's just nonstop.
Obviously, now since you carried it on into college and just
Yeah.
continue to excel. Tell us a couple of your favorite experiences while you were at Methuen High School.
Oh man, there's just so many. It's just like I remember. I don't know, man. It's just a lot of them.
Well, so you were the John Hannigan Award winner for best track and football athlete during your senior year.
Yeah, that. Oh,
You were MVP and a captain for indoor and outdoor track. All state in the 600 meter, in the 400 during indoor, and 4 by 800 relay during in the outdoor during senior year. Um, Qualified for New Balance Nationals. We have got your information slide up on the screen now with a couple of photos from Merrimack. Wasn't able to score any photos of you from MHS. We'll
oh,
we'll work on that.
yeah. You don't want to see the pictures.
Yeah. Um, just in terms of your can you narrow it down, or was it just the entirety of the experience at MHS?
Well, like the entirety of the experience was great because like I just learned so much about myself, so much of like they just took me in like open arms, you know. Like for example, going to nationals like with my team for track, and like just that was great, and then scoring all my touchdowns like in Friday nights football, the stadium like when they used to call my name and when say oh first down Rangers carried by number 11 Eric Rosario, that just that was great. And like scoring the touchdown and then like looking up in the fan station, seeing all my friends just cheering me on, like, and then coming back Monday and they just like, oh, Eric, you scored a touchdown. And I was like, yeah. And then, it's just, or me doing like a stupid play because I didn't know the play.
Coach Ryan would
Just,
probably let you.
oh,
What's funny now is, they probably had a little bit towards the end of while you were there, but huddle is like a whole different. It has created a whole different environment now. They like each player gets like their individual plays like broken down and sent to them.
yeah,
Like instead,
auto,
it's crazy.
like we had it back in high school. So that just showed me like all the good things I did and the bad things. And, you know, it was a good tool to have like as a high school
Absolutely.
kid. Yeah.
So I ask this a lot of football players because it truly is one of them. To me, one of the most unique experiences as an athlete. You mentioned just getting into the end zone and scoring this touchdown. What is it like to score a touchdown? To know that the play is being called for you, and then to deliver for your teammates.
I, that's a good question, man. Sheesh. You got me thinking now. It's just like that whole week of preparation leading up to that Friday game, 7 p.m., and you're getting that call, that number, and it's just like all your teammates are looking at you because the ball is coming to you, and then executing that play and actually seeing everyone happy for you. It's just a feeling that you can't trade for anything else. It's just like, and you just want to. It's like you get addicted to that feeling, so you want to keep doing it all over again. So
Can't even
like,
imagine. I can't. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I don't like to brag, but I did get in the end zone a few times as in high school, so I know the feeling. But it's a while removed, and the atmosphere down here is Methuen is such a football town, and the fans are so awesome that it's like it's pretty crazy. And then on top of that, just to um the whole Friday Night Lights experience under the lights, being able to get that experience.
just like I don't know. It's just something different. It's just Coach Ryan does such an amazing job creating that type of atmosphere, that type of environment in Methuen. Like a couple of years before, like I was there, it wasn't what it is now. And let's give a lot of thanks to Coach Ryan because he has created like a monster over there in Methuen. Like the kids are way faster, they're way skiller. They just everything's just faster pace over there now in Methuen, and just they're doing a good thing down there.
Absolutely, just the way that he gets kids into the program, and the way that he's integrated Pop Warner, and the introductory camps that he does in conjunction with Aylward over at Tewksbury. It's like you said, he's taken it to a whole new level. So tell me, just in terms of what you would tell athletes now that are either trying to figure out what they want to do in terms of college, or just kind of getting into sports, even for the first time. What would you tell them is like the from what you learned at MHS is like the biggest thing that you learned?
Or I can give you a few things. Like, one, be passionate about something that you do. Second, the discipline. Be really disciplined about whatever you do. And third, take care of your grades, because that will take care of everything else. And that's sort of the three things that I have: just passion, discipline, and take care of the grades. And then the rest will fall into place.
You shouted out some coaches. Any teachers that just stuck out for you at MHS that you want to give shout outs to?
Don't put me on the spot, man.
Too many, right? Yeah.
It's just a lot of great people over there. Absolutely. At MHS. Oh, man. It's been a long time, though.
It has, yeah.
You put me.
It's funny. Like I was, as I was asking it, I'm trying to think of, like, even 2 years into when I was at Fordham, if I could remember. I mean, I had one teacher that was just stuck out for me, like got me into journalism and everything. But I mean, like, you just have so many great experience, and it sounds like your experience at MHS was just like
it was amazing.
Your life,
It really did. Not too many people can say that. Not too many people have that same scenario as me, but I'm glad I can say that it was really like life-changing type of experience over there at MHS.
Anything you want to get out to that we haven't covered? Anything that you want to say? Any questions? Anything you want to say that we haven't covered before I let you
go? Just thank you for having me. Honestly, that's all it is. Just keep doing what you guys doing over there in Methuen, and thank you to the whole city of Methuen, for having me here.
I think there'll be a lot of folks that watch the show that are like really excited to see you, and to I know they see you at the Thanksgiving games, but like probably more folks that haven't run into you and have been wondering about you. That a lot of folks will be excited to see this, I'm sure. So, Eric Rosario, huge appreciation for you joining the show. Congratulations on all the success at Merrimack, and we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on you throughout senior year here.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for having me.
All right, so huge thank you to Eric and to Matt and Kevin Alliette for setting up that interview. It's a weird life. At first he was at Plymouth State, Bill, and now he's back home, close to home. As he said in the interview, spending all day at the college, and then kind of comes home to do some late night homework and get some sleep, and then back out the door, but doing big things, and he's not the only alum doing big things. You see it all the time, but one of the things that caught our eye this week, we've talked about her in the past here on the show, and just an outstanding athlete for MHS who's moved on to the University of New Hampshire. Abby Sullivan has been on fire for the Wildcats.
No, she has, Tim, and I'll never forget my first broadcasting of a volleyball game. I don't know if you remember.
I remember a little bit. Yeah.
I found out what a libero was. Didn't even know it, and obviously we knew then. I mean, Abby was a star out on the court. didn't matter what team we were playing. She just stood out as a D1 prospect, and she's continuing her I don't want to say dominance because she's in D1 and there's a lot of dominant players.
Oh yeah,
but she kind of is. I mean, her stats are incredible, and it's great to see.
10 kills and 8 blocks to lead the Wildcats in a 3-2 victory over UMBC. So congrats to Abby there, and good looking out by you, Bill, there in seeing that. Was that on Twitter?
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Awesome. Was that on the Methuen Twitter?
I don't believe so. I'll have to check and see because it probably was current, but I don't believe it was.
Nice. Well, wherever it came from, we love updating you on alumni doings and successes. So let's take a quick break here, and we will come back, talk volleyball. We'll talk cross country, talk golf, talk soccer, and we'll wrap up this week's show. We'll do all that after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. From a leaky faucet to a 10-story building, Canaan and Percone Plumbing and Heating can handle it all. From the pipes to the ducts, ensure the life of your property. AC, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, water heaters and boilers, sprinkler systems, you name it, Billy, Canaan, Tom Percone, and their crew can handle it all. Call them at 978-685-0880 or go online to CananPerconePlumbingandHeating.com. Canaan Percone, huge supporters of Ranger Nation Radio. Back here, the final segment here on Ranger Nation Radio, week 3 of our fall season on the show. Tim, Bill, you, huge thank you to all of our sponsors and listen, all of the folks that have been watching the show and been sharing the show. Want to also tell you, big news. The show is now available in podcast form. Much like the MVC show. It's now on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Podbean. So I think those are the big ones. And so you catch the show, check out our links online. But it's you can get the show at rangernationradio.podbean.com. So.
Tim, I thought you were going to teach me that language before you went on that little rant again.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, so a lot of you have asked us for that availability, and so we have delivered that to you. As I was saying, we'll just put that up on the screen real quick. Spotify, Radio Public, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So, and then the main spot that you can catch it is on Podbean if you don't have any of those other players. So check out our Twitter. We'll always link the podcast on the Ranger Nation Twitter account and on the Facebook account. And enjoy that while you're walking, working out, whatever. Another way to enjoy Ranger Nation Radio. So cool stuff there. In terms of other things happening around Ranger Nation, Want to get you caught up on the week here. The golf team. The golf team had a 19-1 win over Drake on the 3rd. Zach Alfonso, Josh Frechette, Cam Hutchings, C.J. Brown, Grace McKinnon, Brian Zarakit.
Zarakit, nice job, Timo.
You got it, buddy.
Timmy.
You got it. Matt Papalardo, all with wins in that one. And then Frechette, Brown, McKinnon, and Xavier Cordero came up with key points in a tough loss to Tewksbury on October 8th. So they've got a big match on Thursday against Central Catholic at Merrimack Valley, weather permitting. Not looking good at the moment, right?
No, it looks like the whole week's a wash.
Yep. So golf team just keeps doing big things, Bill.
No, they are, and they're a young team. I mean, obviously Alfonso's a senior and McKinnon, but Hutchins and Zarakit and a bunch of those kids, once again, great coach and Coach Sims, and he's recruiting within the high school, getting more and more kids to play, and you're going to see over the next couple of years, you're going to see some of these teams, this golf teams, kind of contending and giving a run at some of these teams that have been a powerhouse for a while.
So elsewhere around the nation, girls soccer, tough week for girls soccer. They fell twice this week. Lost to Andover, lost to Pentucket.
Pentucket, yep.
But 3 Rangers continue to be among the MVC leaders. Tardugno with Brooke Tardugno with 8 goals. Bellacchini, she's got 8 goals as well. And then Stephanie Henrik, their goalie, continues to be among the shutout leaders in the MVC. So good stuff from the girls soccer team there. On the boys soccer side, the Rangers, tough loss to Andover. Caleb Agbo with the lone goal for Methuen there, and he continues to be among the MVC leaders in goals for a bright spot there for an up-and-coming boys soccer team, Bill.
No, Tim, I'm a huge fan of Coach Henry Marin. The guy is all in. He really is. He's basically changing boys hockey at Methuen High School, and he's about conditioning and setting the tone. I think the next couple of years is going to be, it's going to be tough for him. I think the guy is a competitor. I think he loves to win, but also he understands it's not just about that. It's about building a foundation that's going to last for a long time, and I'm feeling very confident that he's going to start putting pieces together and getting down. And he's working with the youth soccer program, which is a great program, but getting these kids to Methuen High and not going club or going to Central has been difficult. So I think Coach Marin is the right guy and is going to some big things coming from Methuen high school soccer.
Awesome. So on the boys cross country beat. The boys defeated Lawrence and Drake on October 2nd. They beat the Lancers 20-37, low score wins. So and they downed the Middies 17-43. I've never understood how to read those scores. Other than to just explain that low score wins there.
I always go in and check the record afterwards and see the last time because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
They should have like a little thing at the top where it says cross country, low score wins, just right under the title of the sport.
Yes.
Because it's very easy to misunderstand.
Xavier Matevier won the overall race.
I think you got it right.
Did I?
I think you got it right.
All right. He won the overall race with a time of 16.
You butchered it.
I butchered it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's some like a silent V with a Z and a Q in there or something. I don't know.
Are you just messing with me?
Yeah, his father's from Canada, so
I gotta look back. I gotta look back at the interview because I gotta look back at the interview, and I will do my homework this week. I'll look back at the interview when we had the X-Man in the studio. But he won the overall race with a time of 16:55. Freddie Coleman finished second. Mitchell Crow finished fourth. Jason Dibble 7th, and Michael Susi 8th for the Rangers. They've got a big meet next Wednesday against Tewksbury on the girls' side. Again, as we said, they got their first wins of the season. A big win over Lawrence, a big win over Drake. First wins for new head coach Katie Keenan. We mentioned that on last week's show, but we've got the details for you now. Miana Caraballo took first place overall, as the Rangers had 7 of the top 8 finishers in the race. It was Caraballo's first ever top finish. Mia Torres finished second. Emily Charest finished third. Zoe Tui fourth. Laura Abreu fifth. Olivia Rosano sixth. And Elizabeth Rodriguez eighth. So congratulations to the girls cross-country team on a big victory there. And then last but not least, in terms of just getting around the horn here, the volleyball team, a 3-0 win over Drake on October 2nd. They dominated the Middies in a 25-18, 25-18, and then a 26-24 win. Sam Dreen led the way in the kills. It was 6 kills. Rosalie Nunez with 7 blocks and 2 aces. Katie McDonald, who we talked to last week on the show, Kate McDonald with 12 assists. Jillian McCoy, 14 service points. Emily Spina and Aaron Smith with 2 aces apiece, and Spina with 18 digs. It was a gauntlet week for the volleyball team here, Bill, and tough losses at Lawrence and Andover, especially the one at Andover really smarted because they were up 2-1.
It was in their grasp.
It was right there for the taking, and they lost 30-28 in that fourth game that they could have clinched it, and they ended up losing 3-2. So we wish big successes for them in the week ahead.
Tim, I don't know. I was holding out on you to see if you knew, and I'm guessing that you don't, and I can't find the date. They're coming home.
Are they?
They're going to have their first home game next week.
Really?
I lost the feed on Twitter, and I'm going to find it, but
so would that be at the Swampskit meet next week or Chelmsford? The match? They got Swampskit on Thursday and then Chelmsford on Friday. And yeah, they have been changed to home games. So
I think it's a doubleheader Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Curran did text out or tweet out, "We're coming home," and Kate McDonald's father, Mike, was nice enough to ask for directions to the field house because it's been so long since they've been there. So shout out to Mike, whose other 2 kids are at Western New England on the volleyball and football team. But I'm going to have to text Mike and give him directions on how to get back to the field house.
That's awesome. That's funny. Yeah, so big things there. Also want to tell you in terms of the AFC Ranger Nation Radio Player of the Week. Each week, AFC is giving $100 to the Methuen All Sports Booster Club, Methuen Sports All Booster Club, and on behalf of our players of the week, and this week's winners, we went with 2 this week because they were equally impressive victories and important wins for their team. We went with
one name, Tim. I'll say the first one. You can say the girls' team.
You do it.
We're going with Xavier, and,
Yes.
and there is no last name. If we have to throw out the last initial, we'll say M, but the X-Man takes it for the boys' cross-country team.
And as we mentioned, Miana Caraballo, she took her first ever top finish for the girls cross country. So big shout out to them. AFC will donate $100 in their name to the MHS All Sports Booster Club. So congratulations there. And then Bill, I teased this earlier in the show. One more thing before we get out of here that I wanted to show you. The Coleman play was outstanding and crazy, but we actually had a play that It didn't take place this week, but it came to our attention this week, and we didn't want when it.
I was at the game, Tim.
Were you?
I was at the game. I stopped by to check in on some people, talk to Dan LaBelle, the president of Methuen Youth Basketball, and what's interesting is it was not his only touchdown of the game, and they played a very, very good Dracut team. A humongous team, and when people see this play, there's probably about 6 or 7 parts to it that you're going to be amazed.
So we had Shane in Shane Eason is the focus of the video. We had Shane and a crew from the Pop Warner team in studio last year, and as you'll see here, Shane continues to do amazing things on the football field. So let me find that. Here we go. Breaks free from unbelievable run for Shane Eason. Gotta play it one more time, Bill. Just in case you're not noticing all of the magic that happens in this play. He's almost out of bounds there, and then he makes a cut back. Great block from number 70. And then from there, Eason just dipsy-doos his way around the defenders.
At one point, Tim, in the middle of his run, he was cutting back. It looks like he ducks half of his body and twists and goes under a kid making the tackle, as he's running full speed.
Yeah.
Incredible incredible young athlete, and you're going to continue
right there,
to hear.
You see it, yeah, right. So you see him dip under the tackle, and just absolutely shake the defenders out of their sneakers, and finds daylight down the sideline.
And then I'm going to outrun everyone down the sideline and score a touchdown.
I mean, listen, and that's a great point, Bill, because he had already run at least
about 30, 35 yards.
I would say more on the 50 side, just in terms of the cutbacks and then he's got 60 more yards ahead of him. I mean, I don't know if they have oxygen on the sideline during the Pop Warner games, but if ever somebody needed or deserved it, it would be Shane after that run. Crazy.
He's 13. He's gonna do it again 4 minutes after that. He's not a professional athlete who's on the sideline gasping for air. Nice.
Well, huge thank you again to Jen Silver for sharing that on Facebook, and what a play, and again, just goes to show you, it's not only at the high school, doing big things all around youth sports around the city. All right, Bill, that wraps it up for this week, my friend. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
I do, Tim. As our sponsors are starting to come back and take care of Ranger Nation Radio, just a quick shout out for the Thursday night meals for the football team. This past week, Harrow's Chicken Pies, Sal's Pizza has donated, or Salvatore's in Lawrence, not Sal's Pizza. Bada Bing is the sponsor for tomorrow. So it's really good for us to continue to talk about these local places that are taking care of the different teams. And I've got people reaching out, because I'm posting on social media about the dinners, and I've had a couple of parents, and how come we're not doing it for this team or that team, just to put it out there. Your teams are doing these dinners. Most of the teams are doing them at people's homes, and the families are cooking the food. It's a little bit different for the football team. You have 100 players and coaches. So we do it at the clubhouse, and parents have donated, so desserts, and we're paying for the utensils and the silverware and surplusing of the food. It's a little bit different when you're serving 100 people than when you're serving 15 kids or whatnot. So these places are taking care of multiple teams, and it's a great thing, and it just brings more light to a lot of the great coaches and what Methuen High School and Matt Curran's doing.
weather, but we were able to
ginger ale
get through. Yes. Oh, geez. Well played. Big time by you there, Bill, on the ginger ale. I'm speechless. That's a veteran move right there. So, nice job. All right, folks. Listen, have a great week. Get out to homecoming on Saturday. Get out to all the home games around Ranger Nation. And we will be back next Wednesday to talk all about it here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Have a great week, everybody.
Tim, Pats tomorrow night. Go Pats.
Go Pats. Hey, it's Tim Wood here, host of Ranger Nation Radio. Attention small business owner, Ranger Nation needs you. We have some great sponsors here on Ranger Nation Radio, but we need more sponsors to make this show possible for the citizens of Methuen, for the fans of youth sports here in our great city. Get the best marketing bargain in the Merrimack Valley and support local journalism and youth sports all at the same time. I promise you, we will promote you to the ends of the earth for a pittance of what you will pay for other marketing opportunities. Incredible return and bang for your buck. Call me, Tim Wood, at 843-290-6242 today and learn how to get involved in Ranger Nation Radio.